Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Rybka holsters. Using our Colt competition here. We are unloaded. Now we're on safe. So, Rybka. I can't say I know a lot about this guy. I was searching on the internet on forums, and basically this was like a year ago or so, 2 years ago I guess now, and I wanted to find a holster that was like a really nice leather holster, and I did a lot of research into it, and I ended up stumbling upon Rybka and his name, and he apparently has done holsters for, I think, like, I don't know, 50 years, maybe even more than that. And so I looked at some of what was available, and I think this model, if I remember right, was called the Rhodesian or something like that. But it's a it's a single loop here, and the leather, it's high quality leather. It's really it's stiff, and it's molded just right. The gun goes in there, and it's in there. Like, I mean, obviously I can pull it out, but it's just the right tightness. And this is the only leather holster that I didn't have to do any kind of like break in with a Ziploc bag. Like, right out of the bat, boom, this thing fit, and it fit perfectly. So this guy knows what the hell he's doing. And the other thing I like too is, I've seen on other holsters, you basically have these, the end of the holster sticks out, right? And the idea is you're protecting the crown of the barrel and just the gun in general down here. You know, if you're sitting down or something like that, you don't want, let me get this, you don't want to be hitting your gun. You want to be hitting the holster if you do hit something, like a rock or whatever. But I noticed on a lot of other companies, these basically don't go very far at all, and it's like, well, that's not going to do much. So one thing I really like about Thad's work here is it actually extends like the right amount to actually provide some protection. Then of course you've got an open-ended muzzle to allow for rain or water or whatever to not pool up in the holster if you're outside. So good little holster, and I'll put it on real quick. Put your money away, that's as far as I'm going. All right. So, great. It feels very natural. Leather holsters tend to feel very natural. And, if you have a coat or something, it's not very discernible. And obviously it's not inside your waistband, but it's very, very comfortable. Hands down, if you're on the farm, out in the woods, whatever, great holster. If I'm sitting down right here, I don't really feel it, I mean, it's there, but it's not any kind of annoyance whatsoever. The only, I think, drawback to this holster is, one, if you're doing some kind of obstacle course and really going up and down, you might maybe lose this eventually. But still, like I said, you can see, I mean, it does grip the gun pretty good. Like, this is just right, perfect tight. And it comes out, but it's in there pretty good. And then, so obviously, if you're on an obstacle course, you could lose the gun or whatever, but I don't think most people in their normal day-to-day life are going on obstacle courses. And then the other thing too is, if I'm on the ground and I'm low crawling, this has the potential to migrate forward due to the weight of the gun and the fact that it's only got a single loop. But if you have pants with loops, like if there was a loop right here, that's going to stop that. That's as far as it's going to slide. And also, this holster is kind of made for your everyday man who's walking around, right? And I don't know a lot of people that are low crawling, just like I don't know a lot of people that are going on an obstacle course. And I would think if you were down on the ground, low crawling, you'd probably have this gun out for whatever reason. So the holster wouldn't have the weight of the gun to begin with that would move it forward. It would just be the leather weight. So kind of non-issues for what this holster is meant to be, I guess, in my thought process. The other thing that's offered with the holster is this magazine carrier, and it's a leather piece, and it's It's one way. By that I mean these only go in one way. I can't put it in this way. So it's once again another very well fit piece of kit, and you know, it's not going to come out of there. I guess I probably should have loaded this up with 45 to really prove that. We'll actually do a real demo here. So this is live ammo. When you work in an office all day, this becomes a lot harder than when you work with your hands. All right, got 8 in there. So yeah, that's holding pretty good. Like I said, it's got the perfect amount of fit there. So, and yeah, he'll ask you, you know, you're right or left-handed shooter, and this index is right to where if this is sitting here on my belt, I'm going to come in, put my finger like so, as you can see, and then so I actually have rounds in here. I'm not going to do it, but basically, you know, you would insert them. You know, you're set up for success basically with this orientation. He doesn't do business. To my understanding, he's retired. And then from what I read on the forums, though, you could write him, and I saw his address on the forums there. And basically, this is his address. I'll put it in the description. And I just said, you know, hey, I really liked your work. I heard you're retired, but sometimes you'll still do holsters for people. And so I just said, if you can, I'd love to have a 1911 holster, and he sent me an order for him, and I put it in, and yeah, absolutely great holster, love it. And this one I already talked about, but this is also a Thad Rybka holster that was purchased through Peacemaker Specialists, and I discussed that in that video, so I won't go into much detail, but same thing, absolutely great holster, and really recommend it. Yeah, if I can only have one holster, it would be that Rybka. I think it's called the Rhodesian. So that's all I got.